Hey there, welcome to TGM's Legal Nuggets, where knowledge meets inspiration. If you're looking for insightful content that informs, empowers, and transforms, this is the place to be. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button now and turn on notifications. Join the community and let us grow together. See you inside. Hello there, welcome again to TGM's Legal Nuggets, where we dissect societal issues, giving legal perspective and making clarifications on, issues. But before we go on to our topic for today, we wish to appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing to our YouTube channel, Soteria TV, following us on Facebook, TGM Amwero Esquire, on TikTok, TGM Amwero Esquire, and on Instagram, Soteria_TV. We really want to appreciate each and every one of you for your support, for liking, sharing, commenting, and showing us good support. We really do appreciate you. So today we want to consider a new topic in our financial crime series, and that topic is bribery and corruption as financial crimes in Nigeria. Yes, of course, everyone is aware and familiar with the words bribery and corruption. So we want to see how we can dissect it and then give some legal and social perspective to this issue. Yes, based on the matter, and so with the run you understand the hair. So like as with the run now, we like tell stories where be say go resonate with us, you understand, so that we go quickly get a picture of what we talk about. So one time like that, for inside Abuja, now so one low ranking civil servant like that waka enter one office with brown envelope. Now inside that brown envelope, now one official memo where government take they do their things, 9 day inside. But of course, all those mint naira notes too still dey inside to, in quote, facilitate the release of a government contract. You go fear now. Why mint they dey inside brown envelope where memo they dey? That one shock you. So now this picture we don't paint like this, I know say they familiar to a lot of Nigerians, particularly those ones who are there for the civil service. This is something we be say every day by day, we dey see all these things as them they work out. Now this picture we don't paint now so gives us a clear picture of how deep rooted and how we don't see them as a culture, of how bribery and corruption don't they plague this our country for many years now. So today what we want to do, we want to try to explore this issue from a legal and a practical standpoint. So but before we move on, we would like to define, of course, what bribery and corruption is all about. So now, what is bribery? Yes, now so that make people for understand them clearly. Bribery now when you they offer, when you they give, when you they receive, or when you they ask for something of value as a means of influencing another person action, where be say that person the one carry out, whether that person na private individual, whether him na public official, or whether na in legal duty na in they carry out. Or as far as you they give them that thing, you they ask for that thing, or they won't collect that thing of value so that the person will fit do the thing for you. Now that one now we they call bribery. So simply put, bribery is the offering, is the giving, is the receiving or soliciting of something of value as a means of influencing the action of an individual holding a public or a legal duty. So now we don't get that one. Wetin can be corruption on the other hand. So corruption now, on the other hand, come be say this one now a broader term. This one they bigger than bribery, because if we put bribery inside corruption, yes. So now this corruption we dey talk about now, it contain many things. It contain being dishonest, it contain being fraudulent. But in this particular case, we dey talk about those wey be say them they hold public office, them they hold power for inside the country. You understand? So now that one now we dey say corruption. But anyhow, you fit look and say corruption na anything wey be say you wey dey hold power for a particular country or wey get hold public office wey you dey do wey dey bad, wey dey make sure say the work wey you dey do, you dey want something to be able to prompt you to fit do that thing for another person, or maybe you dey carry money wey dem say make you take do something, use am for your personal self, use am take go do another thing, or you misapply am for something. All those things wey you dey do wey no good, as far say you dey do am within that your public office wey you dey hold, so that one na corruption. Corruption too no be say na just only public officers, so even people wey dey the private sector too, dem dey corrupt, because those people dem dey make sure say sometimes dem na dem dey go meet all those people wey dey hold public office, dey give them one or two so that dem go fit influence them to do something wey be say ordinarily dem not suppose to do. So now that one na im be bribery and corruption. I hope say we don't try to break am small, at least make una for understand the way the matter dey be. Yes. So now in Nigeria, are these offenses quite all right? They are offenses. So if you're caught in the web, you may be tried. In fact, you would be tried in Nigeria. So under Nigerian law, both are offenses and they are classified as financial crimes. So now, what are some of the applicable laws, to bribery and corruption in Nigeria? Of course, like we always say, you have the Criminal Code Act, you have the Penal Code Act, which has been replicated in most of the states as Penal Code Law, Criminal Code Law, and so on and so forth. And then you also have the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act. Yes, this is particularly for public office holders, and then you have the EFCC Act, like we said in some of our other videos, and so on and so forth. And then last of all, we have the Public Procurement Act. The Public Procurement Act. So these are some of the law: the Penal Code, the Criminal Code, the Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Act, the EFCC Act, the Public Procurement Act, and so on and so forth. Now these are laws that have been put in place by the government in Nigeria to checkmate bribery and corruption, to ensure that things are done within the ethics of holding public offices in Nigeria. So as always, we try as much as possible to relate these issues that we're talking about to factual cases that have been reported in Nigeria. So what are some factual and notable legal cases in Nigeria that have been reported? First, we have the case of Farouk Lawan and Femi Otedola scandal. That is a serious one. Now, in 2012, Honorable Farouk Lawan was caught on camera actually collecting the sum of $500,000 from billionaire Femi Otedola during a fuel subsidy probe. It actually went scandal. This is something that is, that went viral, and so on and so forth. It was a messy situation. Now, despite Lawan claiming it was a sting operation, he was actually found guilty in 2021. That this one, at least the law catch him. We still say the law catch him, and then they can sentence him to 7 years in prison. Later, they can reduce him to 5 years. So that one, now one case we be say he dey. Then another case we be so want talk about now the case of Dakbolam Adeshina versus Civil Service Commission. This one happened for inside Oyo State. Now in 2016, a recruitment scandal in Oyo State come reveal say that the jobs we did for the public sector, say them can sell them, say them they sell the jobs between 200k and 500k. You can imagine. So if I'm buying a job for 200k, for 500k, why wouldn't I be corrupt to want to recoup my money that I've spent? It's actually serious. This is a serious problem. Now, and this thing we will talk about now, they encourage ghost workers, because people go just buy the slot, put their names and their bank accounts there. They won't be going for the job. It's a serious problem. You understand? So ghost workers now go they earn salaries. At the end of the day, people will need the jobs no go get them because they don't have the money to buy the jobs. You can imagine someone who doesn't have a job, who cannot fend for himself, paying the sum or trying to raise the sum of 200k, 500k to get a job. Yeah, it's sad. So only the high and mighty, those who can actually afford it, would definitely pay for it. And this particular scandal was uncovered in Oyo State of Nigeria. Now, investigations led to numerous dismissals but few prosecution. Now, the thing we will talk about be that when they investigate like this, you make sure say you collect your data well, you make sure say you do proper investigation so that everybody will be involved. Now you go prosecute. So that one na one case. Another case wey can happen again na the Nigerian Customs Service bribery. Nigerian Customs Service bribery network. This one happened for 2021. That was when it was reported. Now, in a 2021 report, mid-level officers within customs were caught demanding bribes from importers to evade duty payments. Of course, when you're trying to import some goods into Nigeria, there are custom duties and payments you need to make, and so on and so forth. Now, some customs officers mid-level customs officers were actually caught trying to collect some bribes to get those people to evade the proper payments that is supposed to be made to the government as a means of revenue generation for the government. Yeah, man, that's sad. Now, a viral audio actually went on. The audio was recorded, which led to suspension, but was swept under the bureaucratic, red tape. So now, the video went viral, and then suspensions were made and so on. Because of the red tape and the bureaucracy within the system, we couldn't get the list of it. That's a sad one. I think the government needs to wake up to its responsibility to ensure that people who actually violate the law are brought to book. This is not a joking matter at all. So now these are some of the instances of bribery and corruption in Nigeria. Yes. So now how does bribery and corruption, or how is bribery and corruption carried out? What are the ways they are perpetrated in Nigeria? What are some of the actionable steps that these people take to carry out bribery and corruption in Nigeria? So now let us take a look at some of the ways. So now, first, we have contract inflation. Now, a government official inflates a contract from 100 million to about 300 million to share the difference with contractors. Of course, these are common now. So, say for example, the contractor quotes, let's say 100 million, and then the person who is to sign the contract would say, oh no, I need to get my quote, and as a result of that, you need to inflate the price. So the contractor changes his quote from 100 million to 300 million, and then shares the difference with the person who is to sign the contract, who is to award the contract to him. And that's a big one. So this is one way they do it in Nigeria. Then another way you could think of is kickbacks. That's another one. Now, civil servants demand between 10 to 30% of a contract value as return before approval. In some states, I wouldn't want to mention names now. In some states, the Ministry of Finance and the Accountant General actually have, certain benchmark that is usually earmarked for every contract that is awarded to a contractor. And if you cannot give the ministry and the accountant's office that amount, forget about it. Your money will be held down. And it's a sad one. It's actually, bringing down the economy of Nigeria. So that's that. Then go tell you, say me, you give them between 10 to 30% of that money. So you can imagine now, person where they sign the contract don't collect their own. The Minister of Finance will go process, and the Accountant General's office will go process the whole thing. Go tell you, said you go give them between 10 to 30% or more. All are gone. So before you know now, the money where you want use for the contract don't finish. So how you want to take do quality jobs? It's actually a sad one. Then another way they use again is recruitment scandals. Sales of employment slots in government agency. And I never hear say for Central Bank of Nigeria, we know the year when them they recruit. Even for all those big government corporations like this, we know the year when them they recruit, the recruitment now usually close doors. But before you know, we don't see say they don't employ people. Even where they make the announcement to say, oh, fill this form, apply for the jobs, and so on and so forth. At the end of the day, you're not gonna know when them go conduct interview. Before you know, finalists don't come out. So all those ones now, people will be say they get money to take buy the slots to gain, employment for those government agency, and it's a sad one. So that's another way, or another actionable step that people take, to perpetrate corruption and bribery within Nigeria. Then again, another one is budget padding. Was not until about about 4 to 5 years ago that the term budget padding became very prominent. So wetin be budget padding now? This one particularly now lawmakers, now them they do that one. So lawmakers go insert fake project inside the national budget for their personal gain. All those politicians where they say they want do constituency projects and so on and so forth, constituency projects, so we know they see. At the end of the day, now you go ask them, well, how many things you don't do for your constituency? They're not going to tell you. The other day, we saw a politician from the north giving a tire each to his constituents, and that's a sad one. I don't understand. Say you want to make them come carry stick, take the road, the tire for streets. I mean, that one go put food on their table. That one baffle me, So based on the matter, so budget padding did there, then go try to input fake projects, then go inflate some of the prices for the projects where they want to can't take the difference after governments don't approve those projects. It's a sad one. Then another one is judicial compromise, bribery of court officials to manipulate justice. The justice sector too, that one people don't they look and say the judiciary again, nobody hope of the common man again, because a whole lot is going on there. Judicial staffs are becoming more corrupt than other government agencies. Before you go fit take date for court, you go need to make sure say you pay something, particularly higher courts like the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court. If you get near date, you need to tender something for you to get justice, make the ruling or the judgment favor you like this. You need to pay something, all those kind of matter. So that one safe they there. So now, so we say I'm for inside Nigeria. Those are some of the things we say people they do to ensure say them carry out bribery and corruption within Nigeria. It's a loud one. So now that we've mentioned all these, what are some of the experiences that you've had? Would like you to share your own experience and put it on the comment section. Okay, put your comments on the comment section. The comment section is open so that we can learn from you and get 1 or 2 experiences from you. Yes, you get me right. So now with all these way they happen like this, in economic and legal implication there, because if you tell me say bad things like this they go on for the country and no repercussion or no consequences, of course the thing go they affect the country, go they affect the economy. So what will be the legal and economic implications of bribery and corruption for inside Nigeria? So now for the people wey be say they carry out that crime, if them barb you fit spend between 7 to 14 years under various law. 7 to 14 years of imprisonment under various law. So then if you dey hold public office like this, them fit disqualify you from that public office. You no go hold that public office again. You fit lose the job. For yourself to even say you won't come contest election, people go use them against you because then go look and say they credible. So that one now one legal implication. Then if you don't use bribery and corruption, buy a lot of property, amass assets for yourself within and outside Nigeria, if they grab you, them say you go lose all those things, because at the end of the day the government go take them back. So now so the thing be. So what can be the economic implication? Number one, they say loss of foreign investment go dey because people go look am say the government and the entire public sector no get transparency again, and if accountability and transparency no dey there, na im be say people no go wan come work with us. Dem go look am say what is the need coming, because their investment no dey secured and protected. So that is one of the downsides. Now another thing is that misallocation of public funds. So now, for example, they don't award contracts, audio contracts, say they wan use am take do a particular bridge, they wan use am build hospital, they wan use am build school, and so on and so forth. But before you know, one individual will just carry that thing, put am for him pocket. So instead of using the thing now to take build or carry out that project wey dem approve the money for, na personal spending, you know, those luxurious lifestyles and so on and so forth, na those politicians go come dey do. At the end of the day, na the people wey suppose benefit from that project, na dem go come dey suffer. A whole lot of bad roads. In fact, no politician go feel say im wan go any hospital for Nigeria here because they don't trust the system. The healthcare system is bad because they no wan invest. The money wey dem put inside, say okay, make dem use take care of the place, they don put am for personal pockets. So most of them dey travel out. Even our president sef dey japa comot for Nigeria, dey go do medical checkup, and the thing is sad. It's really, really sad. So we need to work on that. Then another thing is that our institutions too go come dey weakened. And then before you look am, that I don't care and nonchalant attitude go come dey there. In fact, if you go some local government secretariats like this, you no go see any staff there. If you go some state secretariats, you no go see people there. Sometimes if staff dey come work, na around that kind 10 o'clock na you go see them dey come work, which doesn't make sense. So dem no go dey committed to their duty. Again, the service wey dem supposed to dey deliver no go dey top notch. E no go be quality service. In fact, sometimes if you need to beg staff for them to do their job, which is a sad one. So now wey we don try to, you know, see all these things, wetin be your own comment based on this thing? How you think say this thing go fit affect the country legally and economically? How you feel say that thing go fit take? Oh yeah, now put am for this thing. Oh yeah, wait. Oh yeah, wait now. You don't enjoy this thing, you don't enjoy and reach this place now, and you never say okay, may you go click on the subscribe button for our YouTube channel though. Our YouTube channel na Soteria TV or Soteria-television. Just search for them now. Yeah, click am now. Then go Facebook, may you go follow us, TGM Amor Esquire. Yeah, click the follow button now. Just click am, don't do. Then may you go TikTok, TGM Amor Esquire. May you click am too. Then if you come out there, may you just enter Instagram. May you follow us to Soteria_TV. Enter the Oyana sharply. Oh yeah, run and make it for others now. Now we don't do am, we go back. So now we go talk about how we go fit take prove bribery and corruption for courts for Nigeria. Because at the end of the day, if you don't know how you go take prove am, then if you can't catch the person, how you want take on bring the person to book? Because you need to be able to do everything possible. Make sure say your game tight well so that you go fit bring that person to book. The police needs to do their proper investigation. Financial authorities like the EFCC, the ICPC, and so on and so forth, they need to do a thorough job to make sure say at the end of the day they go fit prove their case and hold these people liable for wetin them they do. So now, if you want to prove all those things, wetin be the ingredients wey you need to prove? Number one, you need to show say somebody give money, and he give money or he receive money for gratification to do a legal job. That is, the person decide to give something and another person can't receive that thing. So that one dey there. Then you go come look and say you come need to also prove say the reason why that person do am na because he get corrupt intention. So for example now, project wey be say dem suppose award and the contractor no meet the qualification. You remember that our story for beginning, because say the person don bring envelope and some kind mint dey inside the envelope, you come go approve that kind contract give somebody wey no dey qualified to do am. And that be say corrupt intent don dey there now. You get mind to collect something that make you award the contract give that person. So yes, then another thing is that it influenced the discharge of the official duty. That is that thing wey dem give you now, so now it can make you sign the contract, now make you do the job, now make you give the person the thing wey the person dey look for, no be because say the person deserve am or because say the person warrant am. You understand? So now with all these things now wey we don talk about, wetin be some of the evidence wey be say you go fit collate, you go fit put together for you to be able to, you know, prove this case. Number one, if for example say CCTV footage dey or any audio recording dey where dem take dey do the deal, where the money take dey pass hand, where dem take dey do all these fraudulent acts like this, that CCTV camera go dey very good for court to prove the case. Even the audio recording too go dey very, you know, relevant to take prove the case. Then if you can't get somebody wey know about the thing, understand, a witness wey know about the thing, wey see the thing when the thing dey happen, if you still call that person come sharply say, wow, you come, the court say make you come testify, you come tell us one or two wey happen based on the matter. You understand? Then if bank records dey and financial trails, all those ones too go good. If the money pass through accounts, say dem just wire am to you, then transfer am to you one kind. You understand? You need to go get those bank statements, you need to go track all those financial trails, how the money take move, you know, enter one or two accounts based on the matter. If you forget that one too, now another credible evidence wey you go need. Then marked money in sting operations. If for example say they go do sting operation, EFCC and maybe DSS, they go do sting operations like this, they can see certain amount of money, we be say the person no fit prove say that he get am, or he no fit prove say he legitimately make that money, and then they go mark am as exhibit, you understand, to take prove the case. So now based on the matter like this, wetin come be the punishment wey be say e dey for all these things? Wetin be the punishment wey be say people go fit? We don talk about them before, but we just still throw more light into the matter based on make it for knowledge. So number one, yes, now under the EFCC Act, you have a minimum of 5 years imprisonment without an option or fine. You could actually chill out in the prisons for 5 years without an option or fine. And then on criminal code, you could get as much as 7 years imprisonment for bribery and corruption. It is a serious matter, and something we need to take and look into much more seriously. Yes. So now we also have the EFCC Act, which gives about 14 years punishment for bribery and corruption in Nigeria. But of course, bribery and corruption is not something that is new in Nigeria. Of course, we could conveniently say it's a household name. Basically, every home talks about bribery and corruption and how the economy is dwindling and how Nigeria is nothing to write home about, and how everybody is suffering. There's abject poverty, people are living in penury and stuff like that. So what are some of the questions that would border on the mind of the ordinary Nigerian? Now, one of the reality is that despite the laws, many powerful individuals evade justice due to political connections in Nigeria. That's a reality. Yes, the high and the mighty can actually easily buy their way out and then, you know, evade justice. Again, whistleblowers who bring out, you know, or who tend to reveal crimes of bribery and corruption are rarely protected. You understand? Despite the whistleblower protection policy of 2016. Now that's another reality, another shocking reality. Now some judges have been accused of collecting bribes to prevent justice, but such judges are not prosecuted. Now, what are judges supposed to be prosecuted, or they are supposed to be reported to the NJC? Give your opinion. I want to get your opinion on that. Then again, investigative agencies like the EFCC and ICPC often come under political pressure to drop cases, and that's a big problem. Yes, political influence is one of the issues that we have with respect to the fight against bribery and corruption in Nigeria. Yes, so I've been able to give some insight into bribery and corruption in Nigeria. Now, bribery and corruption are not just legal problems; they are existential threats to the Nigerian dream. In fact, it affects basically everybody in Nigeria, from the low to the mighty. Now, we must begin to demand accountability. We must begin to protect whistleblowers. We must support judicial independence and push for the enforcement of our anti-corruption laws without fear or favor. One of the problems in Nigeria is this idea of favor for favor, favor for favor. So you do me, I do for you, and stuff like that. Scratch my back, I scratch your back. So now, as citizens, what can we do? You must say no to bribes. You must report corrupt practices to the EFCC, ICPC, and the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, which was part of the EFCC but now an independent agency. And then you must support transparency campaigns. There are non-governmental organizations and bodies that are out there fighting against corruption. Now, when you see such, you need to lend your voice to the struggle. Yes. So now that we're here, thank you for being there. We want to appreciate you. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Soteria-Television or Soteria TV, Facebook and TikTok, TGM Amwero Esquire, and then on Instagram, Soteria_TV. We want to thank you for your support. We want to thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and putting our post out there, and for engaging with our content. So once again, we'll see you again in our next video for another exciting episode of TGM's Legal Nugget. Thank you for being there, and bye-bye.